Hi everyone, I hope you're all well. And I had a message that I wanted to share today, a message that I think is really important for what we're going through right now as a collective on this planet. And this message concerns duality and also this binary mode that we are stuck in right now between good and evil, good guys versus bad guys. And of course, we know that we are living in this, extreme polarized world right now. And what is currently happening, with this war in Ukraine and Russia is really putting a light on a lot of stuff concerning this duality and this binary mode. So what I wanted to say is that, of course, when we are confronted to war and suffering and people who are going through these wars, as humans we can only feel empathy and compassion, and that's completely natural, and even to feel that we want to contribute and help. But what I think is, we might want to question here is that why are we pushed to focus specifically on this conflict between Ukraine and Russia? So I went on the internet because I wanted to see how many conflicts on the planet there were going on in present times. And I checked on the Wikipedia page, so it's not exactly a conspiracy theory website. And they said there were about 60 conflicts going on right now on this planet. So we might want to ask ourselves, why are we pushed to focus on this one conflict? And as I said in my previous video, I also have personal connections with Ukraine. My ancestors were there, so I could totally feel, and I totally feel very empathetic towards what is happening and towards the people suffering there. But I've seen a lot of political leaders, I've seen a lot of even spiritual leaders really inviting people to donate money to the Ukrainians. And of course, if you feel like this is, your call, then go ahead, just, be generous and send money and help. There's absolutely no problem with that. But I'm just asking questions here, and I think it's interesting to watch that these same people that are, calling on the rest of humanity to help or to have empathy and compassion for these people, they didn't say a word, for example, when the Obama administration was bombing 7 countries in the Middle East. They didn't say a word when, sometimes there are very violent conflicts between Israel and Palestine, or Iraq or Afghanistan, and, God knows that these countries were completely destroyed by the war, and they really needed help, and they really needed also our generosity. So I don't know about you, but I don't have a selective empathy. My empathy is all-encompassing, so I include everyone. I include all people that suffer on this planet, and share my empathy and compassion to them. So this really shows us that we live in this oversimplified system and world where there's this oversimplification of thought and also of the reality we perceive. But there is no absolute truth out there. No one holds the absolute truth. That is not possible, because everyone has his own filter, and the truth we perceive and the reality we perceive is seen through our own lens and filter. So it's really a matter of just starting to be aware that this binary mode that we are stuck in, good and bad, black and white, I am right, you are wrong, or I am for that, I am against that. And you can even see it on the internet, either you like or you dislike, or I've seen a lot also in the comments on the internet, all over the internet, sometimes people commenting about duality and, pointing fingers at certain people, saying, you are in duality when you say that. Well, guess what? When you point fingers at people, when you judge, you're actually feeding the same duality that you wish not to see anymore on this planet. What we need to realize is that there are a lot of different shades of gray between the black and the white. There are a lot of different colors, an infinity of colors in between, Does this mean that evil doesn't exist? No. Does this mean that good doesn't exist? No. Does this mean that there aren't any evil forces on this planet or good and light forces on this planet? No. But it means that we need to perceive this world in a much more subtle and nuanced way. It's really interesting to look at the Taoist spirituality in this case, because everyone is familiar, I think, with the yin and the yang, and even maybe the symbol that is associated with it. So what does Taoism tell us? It tells us that in the manifested world, there's always the presence of these two energies that are opposed but are also complementary, and they interact with each other, and one cannot exist without the other. What they also tell us is that the forces of the universe are in constant movement, so these two energies will also change and they will transform into one another. So the yin will become yang and the yang will become yin, and this is why in the symbol you can see a black dot in the white and a white dot in the black. And what they also tell us is that from unity, so unity actually generates duality, so these two opposing forces that are needed to create the manifested form. So this is also interesting to observe, because I've seen a lot of people that have the belief that once we go into 5D, when we reach the fifth dimension and unity consciousness, it's the end of duality. But it's not the end of duality, because duality always exists when we are in form. It is a principle of form to be in these two opposing forces. So it's not that we are not going to be in duality anymore, because the only fact that we have a body is a form already of duality. It's a form of separation from the absolute where we come from. So this is an illusion really to believe that it's the end of duality once we reach 5D. What is going to happen is that it's going to be much more inclusive. It's that we are going to integrate this duality inside the unity consciousness. And also these two opposite forces, these two opposite energies that we call duality, is actually what serves our evolution. So it's not like once we reach 5D, we're going to stop to evolve. Of course not. Once we reach 5D, we'll continue to evolve, and what is necessary for our evolution is this kind of duality that we experience on Earth. Basically, what we understand from that is also that we are neither all white or all black. And we are always both. We have all a light aspect and we all have a shadow aspect. And what we can measure and see is that it's almost like, like a scale or a balance, where is this balance going to incline? Is it inclining towards the light or towards the shadow? And this is why there are a lot of people on this planet, and we are all different, and we all have different shades of gray or colors. And that some people are more luminous, some people are more shadowy, and it's just a matter, of seeing where exactly the energy is going in the end. The invitation here is really to go beyond duality. And how do we do that? We do that by taking a step back and actually accepting, allowing duality to exist, and knowing that it serves its own purpose. So it's also, consciously choosing not maybe to participate in this duality. So stopping to point fingers at people or stopping to be in judgment. So in the end, going beyond duality is also a form of non-judgment. And it's also a form of acceptance and detachment. So it's really finding this balance within and finding, in the end, what we call the middle way. Sat Nam. See you soon.